In my last video, I talked about the vague information that's currently out there about Far Cry 5's microtransactions. As reported by website GameSpot, the developers essentially said that they've set the game up so nothing is locked away and that anything you can buy is cosmetics only, but also said that microtransactions will allow players to speed up their progress. GameSpot's article took it a step further by comparing Far Cry 5's in-game purchases system with that of Ubisoft's last single-player-focused title, Assassin's Creed Origins, which sold what are called time-saver packs that allowed players to buy in-game currency, crafting parts, ability points, and map markers for treasures to mitigate some of the grind work. Now, you can see how this right here might be sending mixed signals. On the one hand, they're saying that nothing you can buy in this game will have an effect on gameplay, and on the other hand, we're being told that Far Cry 5's setup is similar to Assassin's Creed Origins and its time-saver packs that do affect gameplay in the form of accelerated progression for certain aspects. There are those like myself who assume the worst and interpret the article as meaning that Far Cry 5 will also sell gameplay-affecting time savers like in-game currency, crafting parts, ability points, and map markers for treasures. But there were also those who argue that perhaps what Ubisoft means here is that players will be able to speed up progress tied to cosmetic items, the rate at which cosmetics are obtained. Regardless of what your interpretation of the situation is, you must admit that Ubisoft's lack of full clarity on the matter is rather frustrating. Publishers tend to do this thing where they vaguely speak about the microtransactions in their games without disclosing exact details on how the system works and what the pricing model looks like, leaving players to assume until the game's launch. Now, there are a few more details about Far Cry 5's monetization model that was detailed by website PC Gamer during a preview event of the game that took place earlier this month. During their play session, the website encountered a menu with information on the game's microtransaction system, and they involve a premium currency called Silver Bars. They're essentially the equivalent of Assassin's Creed Origins Helix credits, which can be purchased in tiered packages in typical premium currency fashion. Listings for Silver Bars purchases are already beginning to appear on retail websites like GameStop, with prices ranging from $5 all the way up to $50, exactly like the pricing model for Assassin's Creed Origins Helix credits. Anyone who's familiar with premium currency will know that part of the reason that publishers implement these instead of allowing players to make direct purchases is so that they can price items just a little over the amount of premium currency that a certain package nets, forcing you to buy a more expensive package. For example, in Assassin's Creed Origins, for those who wanted to purchase either the legendary bows pack or the legendary melee pack, because they cost 550 Helix credits each, just a little more expensive than the 500 Helix credits that the $5 base pack nets you, they would have to buy the $10 small pack to afford it. From there, those who wanted to purchase both the legendary bows pack and the legendary melee pack, because the total cost came to 1,100 Helix credits, just a little more expensive than the 1,050 Helix credits that the $10 pack nets you, players had to buy the $20 medium Helix credits pack to afford them. Suffice to say that in-game purchases with premium currency are seldom set up in a way so that players can spend an exact amount. There's always some leftover or items that are just a tad too expensive to encourage players to make further purchases, and that's by deliberate design. So yeah, based on Ubisoft's past history, I have no doubt that we can expect a similar pricing scheme for Far Cry 5. As for what you can buy with Silver Bars, PC Gamer took a screenshot of the game with text providing a few details, and it reads, quote, "Silver Bars are hidden at every outpost and some other locations in Hope County. Use Silver Bars to buy prestige weapons, vehicles, clothes, and skins from any shop in the world. You can also buy and spend Silver Bars from the store option in the pause menu." Now, first thing to note is that Ubisoft has provided no explanation as to what a prestige item is. There is some gameplay footage out there showing certain items that can be purchased with dollars, also marked with a prestige label along with the symbol for Silver Bars, but the implications of all this are still unclear. Are prestige items simply things that you can buy with either dollars or silver bars? Are they alternate premium skins of these items? Do they have any gameplay effects? Nobody knows for sure at this point, and Ubisoft has yet to make any clarifications. But for the purposes of this video, let's assume that the prestige label does in fact only have cosmetic implications. Even then, the part that concerns me is the third bullet point, which details how you can both buy and spend silver bars from the game's store. From what I'm seeing here, whereas Cosmetic seem to be tied to shops scattered around the world, the game also has a separate store to spend premium currency in. While the contents of that store have not been revealed yet, as it was inaccessible during the game's preview event, PC Gamer did note in the article that from what they were told, Far Cry 5 will have microtransactions for both cosmetic items and time savers. For those assuming that this might refer to saving time earning cosmetic items, keep in mind that the term time saver has never been used in that way. The term has always referred to gameplay affecting purchasable items that mitigate grind, so as I said before, things like in-game currency, crafting materials, ability points, and map markers for valuable treasure. So it's hard to rule out the possibility that time savers you purchase in Far Cry 5 with silver bars will be similar to those of Assassin's Creed Origins. There's just so much about Far Cry 5 that parallels Assassin's Creed Origins monetization model that it's hard not to be on guard that not all microtransactions in this game are cosmetics only, as Ubisoft claims. Not to mention that much like Origins, Far Cry 5 locks some content behind Ubisoft's rewards program, the Ubisoft Club. Similarly to the Altair and Ezio costumes in Assassin's Creed Origins, in Far Cry 5, there are certain outfits from other Ubisoft titles like Far Cry Primal and Rainbow Six Siege, as well as certain weapons that can only be unlocked by spending reward points earned from meeting certain conditions like purchasing and playing other games related and tied to these outfits. These aren't microtransactions per se, but they are locked content that may demand some additional financial investment from players. But anyway, I digress. Back to the topic of microtransactions, I guess all I'm trying to say is to be cautious about the notion that Far Cry 5's in-game purchases are all cosmetic only, especially when the term time saver keeps getting thrown around. If you're cautious about avoiding games with insidious monetization schemes, I would wait for reviews that detail how all this works. You never know what aspects of a game's progression might have been artificially skewed a certain way to entice players into making quote-unquote time saver purchases. I will say though, it is nice that the game will seemingly scatter silver bars around the game world, so players might be able to earn prestige items and time savers by just playing the game, but there is still the question of how frequently are these silver bars offered, in what quantities, and whether they can be farmed continuously or if there is just a set amount. There is still the question of, will the game be generous with its silver bars handouts, or will it be so stingy with them that players will have to grind a ridiculous amount to obtain enough silver bars to buy anything substantial? And again, this is all information that Ubisoft refuses to be transparent about before launch day, so we'll have to wait and see to find out. Obviously, in an ideal world, there would be zero forms of microtransactions in this premium-priced single-player game. When you've got games like Sony's upcoming God of War leading by example, there is simply no excuse for the likes of Far Cry 5. But if Ubisoft can actually live up to their word and truly make Far Cry 5's in-game purchases cosmetic only, meaning removing Assassin's Creed Origins gameplay affecting time saver paid cheat codes altogether, as well as be generous enough with silver bars handouts, then the game will at least represent a step in the right direction in an era in which microtransactions within third-party AAA games are seemingly unavoidable. My gut though, it tells me that there's more to it than Ubisoft is letting on, because if history has proven anything, it's that you can only trust publishers like Ubisoft as far as you can throw them. So I for one will be on my guard. Here's hoping that my gut instinct is wrong though. Honestly, nothing would make me happier. These are just one man's thoughts and opinions anyway. I'd love to hear what your take is on all of this in the comments below. With that, I would like to end this news update. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy my content, consider supporting me on Patreon. It is completely optional, but donating even as little as $1 a month will go a long way in helping this channel grow. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Yong Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Yong out.